we're not going to have the time. So one of the things that we do to help people learn what they're noticing is we bring these objects, and I'm going to just pass it out. You can just take about 3 of them. And there's one for this side of the room. It'll take like 2 minutes, which is normally at least a half an hour exercise. And the question is, can you look at these objects and imagine you've never seen them before? You don't have any preconditioning about them. And of course you do, so you will have thoughts about them. But imagine that someone strange looking has handed you these objects. And they say, could you please experiment and use all your senses to examine them, but don't put it in your mouth yet, because we don't know what it is. But look at it, listen to it, see if it has a smell, feel it. What do you notice? And as you're passing it around, I'm going to pause for a moment. What are you noticing? Right now, where's your attention? Can you notice that what happened last moment isn't happening right now? Can you notice impermanence? Those objects that I'm handing out have changed since I bought them. They've changed from where they came from. Nothing is staying the same. And how is that relevant to our lives? How does it make sense to look at something with fresh eyes, feel it's what we think is permanence, and at the same time we're holding in our hand an object that is also changing moment by our relationship to it. Even if the object isn't changing, our relationship is probably changing, right? Does that make sense? And part of what's changing is, if we're lucky, growing older, becoming sick, we're going to die, there's going to be loss, and we're responsible for our actions. So I'm trying to weave together my PowerPoints with what I'm saying, and it's not totally working. So I'm going to pause again. But let's all just take a breath. I'm going to take a breath. You take a breath. If you have the object in your hand, put it down for a moment. If you don't have it yet, hold it where it is. You can pass it around in a minute. And let me just have you listen to sound. So just letting yourself feel the position of your body right now. If you like, you can let your eyes close. Can you hear any sounds in the room? What about breath? Are you able to experience the breath moving your body? And in this moment, are you breathing in? Are you breathing out? Is it possible to fully attend to the fullness of one breath without your mind going someplace else? Where does the breath begin? And you feel it leaving. What about the next breath? And the instruction is, when you notice your attention has moved away from your breath, is moving away from your direct experience, come home. Come home again to this moment. Because in this moment, this is where we're living our one wild and precious life, right now. In the silence, is there something you'd like to push away or change? What does it feel like if that's the case? That if it's not the case, what is the experience as you breathe? How many times are you able to notice that your mind isn't here, and without judging yourself, patiently, calmly, compassionately, letting yourself cultivate that home inside of you, inside of us. It's like the quiet underneath the wave, the eye of a storm, where there's silence, where there's peace. Agitation comes, agitation goes, just like the breath. Nothing stays the same, everything's changing. And yet here we are. And then letting your eyes open again. And if you're in the process of examining your object or you're passing it around, you can continue that. I'm just going to be silent for a minute. And if you have the object in front of you, give yourself this minute to really, really perceive it, really examine it. And if you don't, what is it like to be sitting here waiting? So in this moment and the next, just see how well you can pay attention to your experience as it's happening. Have the intention to do so. Pay attention to this moment and notice what your attitude is around it. You can always stop and also be aware of breath. Continuing to practice being here, using your senses, whether you're examining an object, really being fully present now in the object you're sitting on, here in this space. Opening to sound, opening to this moment. And does anyone not have the object, that small, that object in front of them? Does anyone have one? Is there anyone who doesn't? Because if you do, I invite you to take another 30 seconds and place it on your tongue and allow yourself not to bite into it, but feel it. And just notice what happens. And then if you want to, you can close your eyes and just take one bite into it. And then notice what happens again. Notice if you want to take a second bite and pause. And then take a second bite. And a third. And very slowly, consciously, allow yourself to notice how the object changes as you bite into it. And what's that process? Are there thoughts that are going on? Do you want to rush it? Is it okay to go slow? Do you have any associations to what you think it is or is happening? Other likes, other dislikes? Simply bringing awareness to this moment and this activity. Maybe you're choosing not to do it. What's that like? Can you feel the breath? And then letting your eyes open again. And just let's take another moment. I said I would do 3 mindfulness meditations. But I bet you never thought one could be talking. We talk about awareness of breathing, awareness of body. We don't usually talk about awareness of speaking. But I'm going to time you 2 minutes and very carefully, consciously, you can turn in your chair to the person next to you. With your eyes, say hello to them. Bringing awareness of your attention and your attitude. Let's see if I can go backwards as we're doing this. And then using words that best describe the experience you just had. See how well you can listen to each other and how one word may spark the next. How what one person says influences what you then say. And this will be mindful speech. Is there any question about that? We're going to talk, but we're going to talk mindfully. You can pause between between words. You can come back to your breath. You might want to just say hello to the other person and see what it's like to be quiet. But I invite you to talk about what was your experience in paying attention to your breath and also noticing the object. What was that like for you? How could that be useful for you in other activities? Okay, it's a lot of questions for only a minute. So you can begin. Go ahead. Turn to the person next to you. 2 minutes of speaking mindfully.
I didn't realize earlier, and look at it and talk about it. What am I doing tomorrow? Because my mind is always racing. I have a problem. I put it on meditation. I have to focus on the breathing. It's hard especially if your mind is always racing. It's difficult to do. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, it's hard. I think that's years ago. go. You know, I do this too, so I need to start doing this.
So pausing again. Just coming back to breath. If you want to, you can let your eyes close. If not, have a soft gaze at a spot a little bit in front of you. And noticing what it is to pause. Maybe you're in the middle of a word or a sentence. Just noticing and taking a moment to come into your body. Noticing if there are any sensations in your feet. You feel your foot and your shoe. And what happens if you move from the foot up into the ankles and the lower leg? The knees, the upper leg. Maybe your heart is beating rapidly and that's what is in your mind. Maybe your mind is busy about the conversation. Can you come back to the breath? Can you come back and you feel the buttocks resting on the chair? You're aware of the pelvis. Your back. Is it touching the back of the chair? What's the position that you're sitting in? What happens if you move your attention up into the neck? You feel the heaviness of the head. And then moving back down from the head into the neck, back into the shoulders and the arms, the hands. What's the position of your arms and your hands right now? Are there any sensations there? And I've talked about breath. Can you feel your belly? Is it moving as you breathe? What happens with the in-breath? What happens with the out-breath? Is there any correlation in the freshness of your observing between what we did with the object and how you're now experiencing the fact that you're breathing? Or sound? And then moving from breath into the region of the chest, this large cavity that contains vital organs, your lungs, your heart, esophagus, your throat. Back feeling the neck again, supporting you, and then coming into the head. And I'm mentioning the head last because we're so much in our head, we forget that there's a body that's sitting here. If there's any strong sensation, that's where your attention is. Come back. Come back to my voice. Come back to feeling yourself here. Come back to noticing your mouth and your nose and your ears and eyes, eyebrows, forehead, scalp. Can you imagine energy moving in through the earth and up, through the body and out, through the top of your head? Energy entering in from the top of your head and moving down through the body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. This noticing is mindfulness. This non-judging, this allowing is mindfulness. This knowing what your relationship is to what you're observing, whether you're moving towards it, away from it, or maybe somewhere in between. That's mindfulness. You can open your eyes if you'd like. The relationship to what I'm talking about and to health is that when you're very sick or when something's happening that you don't like, we tend to go into a fight or flight position, which is called stress reaction, right? So by paying attention and allowing, we're allowing ourselves to be human. We're accepting ourselves as we are, yes? And we have a little more energy, a little more space, a little more of an ability to then take the next step and know what is the correct step for us. Or if there's a step that we're taking that we feel is a wrong step, to be able to pause and stop. And as my navigator in the car says, recalculate. Recalculating. So we're always recalculating. Is formal meditation, doing what we just did for a much longer period of time to help us relieve suffering. There's informal practice, like we did when we were talking. You were mindful of speech, mindful of being with another person, mindful of relationship, perhaps of being kind and respectful, or curious, informal practice. And I'm just so aware of the shortness of time, so maybe I will let you look at this cartoon. So much of what we receive is what we expect. It's hopeless or I'll never be enlightened. What should I do? Have fun. Have fun. What kind of advice is that? Spiritual pursuits aren't supposed to be fun. They require hard work, pain, suffering. And that's exactly what I intend to do soon. We get what we expect. Do we? We get what we expect. We get what we expect. Can we be accepting? Because really, we're learning through a lot of work what babies know. They're just here. They don't ask these fancy questions. We're lucky we have developed wisdom and the ability to honor our questioning mind. But how accepting are we of things as they change and as they are? So I want to have a few minutes for questions. So I'm just going to end with a poem that I wrote after I had a stem cell transplant for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And, you know, I do live with lymphoma. I'm in remission. I feel great. I get to complain about a hoarse throat, you know. It's wonderful to just be worried about not having a voice to do this talk. Everything in perspective. But being sick helps me appreciate the wonder of being able to be with you, the wonder of aliveness, the wonder that's here in this room and will be with us as we leave this room. So I wrote, for now, dropping down lower and lower, the quiet grows within. Doing nothing, my wanting mind stills. In the silence, in the space, what I have been seeking is found. It's nothing less than everything and more than anything. Being here for now. So I'd like to end for now and be open to responding to some thoughts or some questions, if that's all right for you. And I apologize that this is so short, but how fortunate that I am to be with you, so thank you.
I think we've got 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. Yeah. I'm not sure this can. Could you just speak loudly?
I think
Keep
so.
going.
Yeah, I think I have a loud voice.
Good.
If you don't mind me asking a personal question, I heard you saying that you had gone through Hodgkin's lymphoma, now Hodgkin's lymphoma, and you had started meditation prior to you contracted the disease. Now, while you were going through the disease process, could you tell me something about your experience with meditation? How did you feel about it? Were you able to concentrate? And what were your thoughts on that time?
I love that question. It's a really good question. First of all, this book, I have a few copies here. It's about my experience, bringing mindfulness to the whole experience. And part of my way of coping was to write. I kept a journal. It just, sometimes I